Hello, my
Hello.
name is Nicole White, and I am your Health and Wellness Coordinator with Fulton County's Government Department of Senior Services, and this is your Wellness Moment. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, one that I admire and respect, Miss Geoycelyn Greer. Hi, Geoycelyn.
Hello, Nicole. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
I am, you said my name is Geoycelyn. My friends call me Dee Dee. I am 51 years old, have two children, one that is a graduating senior who's getting bummed out pretty much by this 2020 pandemic. Um, I'm in the Navy, and actually tomorrow is my anniversary, 28 years in the United States Navy. Uh, I have a degree in human resources, and that's, the arena that I work in. And that's about it.
Wow. Well, congratulations on having a senior in high school. I know this is not how he probably imagined how his senior year would be. And I also want to say happy anniversary to you,
Thank you.
Lieutenant Commander Greer. Could you
Thank
please,
you.
you're welcome. Could you please tell us about your experience in the United States Navy?
Sure. Well, I joined the Navy May 4th, 1992. Came in as an E2. I was a meteorologist and oceanographer, and I stayed there for about 16 years. I was active duty, then joined the reserves, received a commission in 2008, and became an ensign in the United States Navy. And now I'm back on active duty, and I'm a lieutenant commander. So I've been enlisted and officer, active duty, and reserves.
Wow, impressive. And on behalf of myself, Fulton County government, and as well as our viewers, I would like to say thank you so much for your service. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for your support.
Absolutely. Now, on Wellness Moment, we like to talk about all things wellness. And today, I want to know, how do you define wellness?
Wellness is this very fine, beautiful marriage between
Mhm.
health, having good health, and feeling good.
Okay.
And having good health is not just health physically, it is having, because health encompasses so many arenas of your life. So you have, wellness encompasses so many arenas of your life. You have physical wellness and financial wellness, spiritual wellness. So when I say good health, it means a good, strong background in it and a good, strong knowledge of that, as well as feeling good. So that marriage together, having a good, strong knowledge of it and feeling healthy in that area, as well as feeling good, is what I think wellness is.
Right, and I love the way you use the analogy as a marriage, because you can't have one without the other. If you're not feeling good mentally, then it affects your physical being. So, and I like also how you mentioned the financial part, because a lot of people don't realize that your finances can affect how you are feeling overall. So, what a very thorough and precise definition. Thank you so much. Well, today on Wellness Moment, we're going to talk about what it's like from going from a perfect day, looking good, feeling good, the sun is out, the birds are chirping, just an overall good day. And then the next thing you know, you're being prepped for emergency surgery. Lieutenant Commander Greer, you lived that experience. Can you please walk us through your day up to leading to emergency heart surgery?
Sure, sure. That day was like any ordinary day driving into work. On that particular day, we had a meeting with my senior leadership and leaders within my command to talk about the production of each of our departments. And I was feeling exceptionally well because my department was doing exceptionally well, and I could not wait to tell everyone how well they were doing and to give my department their kudos, the well-deserved kudos. And
Mhm.
so I was excited about this day. So nothing was different or out of the ordinary. And as we came into the conference room and I was sitting down, I just felt really lightheaded. But then too, some people have a little bout of vertigo from time to time. So it didn't really alarm me, but it seemed to get worse and it seemed to last longer than just a normal little bout of vertigo. And someone said to me, Lieutenant Commander Greer, ma'am, do you feel okay? And all pride aside, I said, no, I'm not feeling okay. And things just pretty much took off from there. I went from sitting to laying on the floor with no feeling in my feet to waking up the next day with scars showing that I had had open heart surgery.
Oh my goodness. So did you even have time to prepare yourself for needing surgery? I mean, did you have time to process this?
No, I didn't. And I think that was a blessing in disguise. And I think that I'm normally a person that likes to be in some type of control over what goes on with me or what goes on within my situation. I think this was God's way of telling me that he is in control.
Mm,
And so had I been in control, I would have been trying to figure out how to call my mother and how to call my friends, how to get my children. I didn't have anything to do with that. It was all taken care of for me. God was completely in control. And by the time I realized what was really happening, everything was done. Everything that needed to be done was done. I completely took my hands off of everything, not by choice, but by
mhm.
force. I took my hands off of everything, and everything worked out in the best way that it really could have. It was a very big learning lesson for me because I've always known that God is in control. This
Okay.
was yet another example that he truly is. And everything that happened between that time period, between falling out at work and waking up the following day, is pieces of memory and pieces of things that people have told me. Because the only thing I remember, truly remember, is I have messed up the meeting for everyone. And so I was extremely apologetic about doing that. But no, didn't have time to process anything. And I'm very, very blessed that I didn't.
Wow, wow. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Because I understand, exactly, what you went through from one moment, like you say, feeling good, getting ready to go into a meeting, and then when you wake up, not even know that you had really fallen out, but when you wake up and then there's a scar and hey, I just had surgery. At least that's what they told me.
Right.
So I agree with you. It is probably a good thing not to have time to think about or prepare yourself mentally for what is getting ready to happen because who knows how we could, scare ourselves. So it
Right.
probably is a good thing. And like you said, you left it all in God's hands and here you are. Here you are.
I
All right. So can you please tell us what was your recovery like? Mentally, emotionally, physically? What was that like?
recovery is still going on. This event happened on August 29th, 2019. So I consider I have myself another birthday. I have two birthdays now
Okay.
moving
Hmm.
forward. Um, physically was probably the best part of recovery. Emotionally and mentally took a little bit more time. So physically walking from my home, my front door to my mailbox was a bit of a challenge. Standing up, washing dishes was a bit of a challenge. But those things not just impacted me physically, it's what made me feel mentally and emotionally. I just could not um, comprehend that I couldn't do what it was that I could have done, a week ago or 2 months ago. One moment I was fully fine, and then the next moment I can barely get up and go to the bathroom without, gasping for air. So, but that emotional part and that mental part were the strongest ones, um, the hardest things to get over, and those are things that I'm still working on now.
Mm. So when you say you're still working on them, what type of things are you doing anything to regain that emotional and mental strength?
Yes, I have a super, super support system. And they keep me grounded, keep me intact. I've become my own personal cheerleader. I'm my biggest
Okay.
cheerleader now. And I have to give myself time. Realize that it really is time. Like I said, I'm usually try to keep into control of things, but
Mhm.
I can't control how well I get better. I get better when I get better. And I've had
Okay.
to put that in my mind and realize this, it just happens when it happens. Be grateful that it is coming and be grateful that it does come.
Okay. Okay. So I like what you said about you have to be your own cheerleader. And I want to go back to that a little bit because a lot of our viewers are seniors, and some of them may live alone, and some of them are probably recovering from surgeries or traumatic events
Right.
on their own. So, can you speak a little bit more about being your own cheerleader, being your own advocate, knowing that this is my journey?
Sure, sure. My mother used to say, "How do you eat an elephant?" And that response is always one bite at a time.
Okay.
So with recovery, it's one step at a time. With people that are addicts recovering, it's one day at a time. And each of those days and each of those events and each of those bites are minor accomplishments that always lead to bigger and better things. So root for yourself. Know that you have it in you to do whatever it is you aspire to do, and then congratulate yourself. Take a moment to congratulate the small steps, the small bites, the small events, because those are things that lead to bigger victories.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm glad you said that. Thank you so much for that um, great advice. I can't even call it that little bit of advice. That was some great advice. Thank you so much. So now that you are in your healing or in your recovery stage, how has your view on life and wellness changed?
I'd like to say that the birds chirp louder and the green trees are more green. I'd love to say all of that because that's what I expect to hear from someone who has recovered from something like this. But I don't have it quite like that. What I do is that I cherish. I realize that the day, it truly is a blessing because it was a day that I didn't know that I couldn't have at some point, if that makes any sense.
It does.
So I'm blessed to have that day, and I take that day as it is. I don't put too much pressure in any day that I'm given because I think
Okay.
he gives it to me for me to do what I see fit and what he sees fit for me to do.
Mhm.
Um, Wellness wise, I pay more attention. I pay more attention to almost everything now. I pay more attention to my heartbeat. I pay more attention to what hurts. I pay more attention to how I'm breathing, what's going on around me with this pandemic. Am I feeling a little anxious about it, or how is everything else coming toward me? So I pay more attention to life in and of itself, and I pay more attention to my personal wellness in all of those arenas we spoke of earlier.
Okay. So it sounds like basically things that we normally take for granted, you definitely listen to, pay attention to, and appreciate because none of us, I can't say none of us, but the majority of us really never pay attention to, hmm, how is my heart beating? How am I breathing? Huh, the birds are chirping, so I can appreciate, that aspect. And that's a lesson to all of us to truly pay attention and hone in on even the little things, because the little things do matter. What would you say to other people who may have experienced emergency heart surgery?
For emergency heart surgery or for any emergency life-threatening surgery, I would say be patient with yourself
Okay.
and be kind to
Mhm.
yourself as you go through the process of recovering and healing. Just be kind to yourself. You're the only you that you have, and you're the only one that knows what you're going through specifically. So be kind to yourself. Cut yourself some slack and live. Feel better as you live by cutting. Just be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself. Be kind to
Mhm.
yourself. All right. And what advice would you have to women regarding maintaining their heart health?
We've been known to be the backbone of the family. That just kind of is what it is as women. That's what we do.
Hmm.
Pay attention. Pay attention to yourself a little bit more because we're so inclined to pay attention to our spouses and our children and our jobs. We can tell you everything about what's going on in those areas, but very rarely do we really hone in and pay attention to ourselves. And like I said earlier, like, what makes you anxious? What makes you happy? What
Mm.
makes your heart sing? Those kind of things, and do more of those things that make your heart sing. Those kind of things I would say for any woman, just pay attention to what your body and your heart is telling you.
Okay. And one thing I can say that I appreciate about Fulton County is that we do have a great benefits plan. And in our benefits, we have a great medical plan. And one thing they make us do is get physicals. We have to get physicals every year. It is mandatory. It is mandatory that we get our cholesterol check and our glucose levels checked. What do you think about those things?
Oh, absolutely. Know your numbers. Know
Okay.
not just what your numbers are, but know what the normal numbers should be.
Okay.
Because once you know where you are and where you fall in the scheme of normalcy, it can better help you to make those adjustments that you need to be making, so that it can ensure that you are healthy and that you feel good.
Right.
Your health is good and that you feel good, to acquire that wellness that we're all seeking.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Now that the world is on a temporary hold, what are you doing with, I'm assuming you have extra time. What are you doing with that time?
Uh, I think when this all began, my thought process was that we needed to acquire something new, learn something new, do something different. And so I've painted a shed, I've learned to crochet, I've made a garden, all of those things, because I thought that I needed to do something. But I've kind of changed my mind about some of that now. Right now, I'm just feel good. Just feel good about yourself. Um, do what makes you feel good, because this may be the reason why we are at this temporary shutdown, this temporary lockdown. If you want to get up and go for a walk, go for a walk.
Okay.
If you want to just lay in the bed and watch TV, just lay in the bed and watch TV. But just feel good about that decision. So
All right.
whatever it is that you decide to do, feel good about that decision when you make it, no matter what it is. This is not the time for everybody to jump up and learn Japanese. It's just not. And it's not the time for everybody to just lay in the bed and gain 20 pounds. But whatever it is you decide to do with your day, as long as you feel good about doing it, then do it. It's not the time to just do everything.
I love
And
it.
be
I love it.
kind. Be kind to yourself. We tell everybody be kind to other people. We very rarely tell people to be kind to themselves, and that's one of the key things that I would take away.
Be kind to yourself. Do whatever brings you peace and solace during this time. And like you said, self-care. Self-care. Get up, go for a
Absolutely.
walk, sleep in if you want to, watch a movie, or learn to knit or crochet and paint a shed and dig a garden.
It's
Whatever
pretty
you want to
cool.
do is pretty cool. All right, whatever you want to do. Is there anything else you would like to share with our viewers at this time?
Now, that's about it. I think, like I said, the biggest thing is just to be kind to yourself and know that all is well. It is good. Whatever it is you decide to do, it is good. It's good.
It is good, absolutely. Well, Lieutenant Commander Greer, thank you so much for joining me today on Wellness Moment. Again, on behalf of Fulton County government, my viewers, again, we thank you for your service. I want to also thank my viewers for tuning in. I really appreciate you all so much. And it is always my goal on Wellness Moment to inform and inspire. Until next time, be well.